Hello, and welcome to this short SHRA Masterclass on building a consortium for a funding bid to the Social Housing Decarbonisation Fund. My name is Richard Miller, and I will be talking you through some of the key points to check as you build your proposal. In case you haven't picked up on all the acronyms yet, the Social Housing Decarbonisation Fund, the SHDF, is making £160 million worth of funding available to social housing providers in England through Wave 1 of the programme to support the installation of energy performance measures in social homes. Projects are expected to take a worst properties first, fabric first, lowest regrets approach, and to be completed by the 31st of January 2023. The Social Housing Retrofit Accelerator, the SHRA, will directly help social housing providers to develop successful bids. It has been developed with and for the sector, it is created and delivered by experts, and will help social housing providers to access funding for major retrofit projects. Only local authorities can lead a bid, but social landlords can be part of a consortium bid. Because we are targeting Wave 1 applications at the moment, you all should be more or less bid ready. You are unlikely to be starting with forming a consortium now. So in this session, we will be focusing on how to use a consortium to strengthen your funding bid and pointing out some of the things you should be thinking about to get ready for when your bid is successful. The first question is, why do I need a consortium at all? Well, if you are a local authority with all the resources you are going to need ready at hand, maybe you don't. But for most, a consortium can really enhance the application. A bid must be led by a local authority. That means, fairly obviously, that if you are a private social housing provider, you can only access SHDF funding by partnering with a local authority, by being part of a consortium that they lead. But there are also other forms of consortia eligible for funding. A combined authority can lead a bid in the same way as a local authority. Multiple local authorities can join together to make a stronger case with more impact. All the homes in the project do not have to be within the local authority boundary. For example, a housing association may want to work on a group of homes that span local authority boundaries. This way, they don't have to be part of multiple consortia. And multiple housing providers can combine in one bid, led by a local authority, where there are benefits to the collaboration. These options point to some of the benefits of being part of a consortium bid. Together you can create a stronger application that is a better fit to the competition targets, that assembles a broader set of resources that can have greater impact, a larger group of properties, pushing properties in poorer condition to a higher EPC rating, perhaps demonstrating faster scale-up, or assembling a stronger and more effective supply chain. A consortium allows you to work with people that have different skills. They may have skills that you feel you are missing, or they might have greater experience of setting up and delivering complex retrofit projects. Or they may have people who've worked with and understand PAS 2035, a standard that you must comply with to get funding. All of these benefits allow you to make a more powerful and convincing case for your project. A consortium can be more ambitious and demonstrate more effective delivery than a single applicant. And although the consortium is formed from local authorities and social housing providers, there is a wider team to consider. Large-scale retrofit programs are complex, and for Wave 1 SHDF funding need to be delivered quickly by the 31st of January 2023. You need everyone involved to be working closely together and to understand each other's role. You'll have little time for wheel spinning. You need to be aligned and together. This applies to your suppliers and delivery partners, but also to your in-house teams. For example, are procurement ready to act at the speed that will be necessary? Do your resident engagement team understand what is planned and how they will involve residents? Though not formal consortium members, you need to bring these people into the planning and delivery discussions. So here are some top tips. Start early. It takes a long time to create a working consortium. You may have sorted out your partners and decided who you're going to work with, but there's still a lot of work to do to weld them into a team. You cannot slacken. Think about the critical needs of your project. Who has the resources, interest, and skills? What have you got to offer the other consortium members, and what do you need from them? Spend time creating a shared project plan. In a consortium, the plans must be co-developed and co-owned. If one party makes all the decisions, there will be unending tensions. Make sure each partner brings something significant and additional to the collaboration. Each member of the consortium needs to be valued for what they add, and each partner must know what they are responsible for, what they must deliver. You need the key support functions in each partner to know what is coming and to be ready for it. No surprises for your procurement team. Governance may be dull, but it is vital. Think about the mechanics of the collaboration. How will information be shared, and how will you make joint decisions? There needs to be some form of consortium agreement, and it needs to be written down. If everything goes well, you may never need to refer to it, but when things go wrong, a consortium agreement can be anything from a letter of intent to a legal collaboration agreement. Only you will know what is appropriate for the project, but there needs to be something, and it needs to be understood and agreed by the partners. It's also a good idea to be thinking about how you will work with consortium members and other partners once you get the go-ahead. So I offer a couple of tools that I have found extremely useful in complex multi-party projects. Not the usual Gantt charts and project plans, but tools that help keep everyone aligned. These are just a couple of examples, and you probably have your own favorites. But it's useful from early on to be thinking about how you will keep all the plates spinning in such a fast and complex project. First up is the RACI chart. It identifies who is responsible for delivering a task, who is accountable for making sure it happens, who needs to be consulted before a decision is made, and who needs to be informed after a decision is made. The responsible people are the ones doing the actual work. It will probably be a small number, a small team perhaps. Ideally, there should be a single named person who is accountable. You need to know where the buck stops. And a variety of people will need to be consulted and informed depending on the task. You can map out the tasks and the people in a simple graphic or spreadsheet. It sounds trivial, but you would be amazed how often in a project different people think that they are actually accountable, or no one has been picked as responsible. Key activities where you haven't figured out how they will be delivered. And it is surprising how often people with their heads down delivering forget to consult with people who will be directly affected by what they are working on, or don't inform others that a change has been made or a task delivered. The RACI chart makes it much easier to map out who is doing what and to keep everyone up to speed. The second tool addresses the problem of silos. We all recognize this problem. Teams are following their own priorities, information does not flow, there is suspicion, there are not invented here problems, and soon people are communicating by the equivalent of tying notes to a convenient brick and hurling them over the wall into another silo, trying to get noticed, but probably only getting a larger brick coming back the other way. One of the solutions to this problem is the boundary object, something that sits between different groups and helps neutral communications. It can be a mathematical model, a physical model, a shared project plan, a roadmap, process maps, all kinds of things. But there are some rules to what makes a boundary object. It must be co-inventive and collectively owned. All the relevant groups must be involved. A boundary object cannot be created by one team and passed to another. That triggers misunderstanding and not invented here thinking. If it is going to be collectively owned, it should be created in neutral territory. If one group hosts the work, it subtly and progressively becomes theirs. Find a workspace outside the participants. Choose objects that are persistent. Boundary objects need regular use. They should be poked and prodded, revised and appealed to. They need to be living documents that react to the changing realities of the project. And make sure they have real meaning to all the participating groups. Something only important to one team is still important, but it's not a boundary object. And I have seen many times the creation of a shared boundary object take partners who are at loggerheads, frozen in mutual suspicion and sabotage, and seen it suddenly switch a light on, allowing them to make swift progress. So finally, a quick checklist. Have you done all these things? Is the bid led by a local authority? Do you have all the skills you need in your consortium and delivery partners? Can you combine with other organizations to make a stronger bid? Can you tell a good story about the value added by the consortium? And then more operationally, does everyone know what they have to deliver? Have you agreed a management structure and a management process? Do you have a written agreement about how the consortium is going to work? And then finally, have you completed the self-assessment questionnaire? Because the self-assessment is your access to one-to-one help to help you develop a strong proposal with the best chance of success. Thank you.